Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of Commanding the Market. I'm your host, the MTG Librarian, aka Nathan. I'm joined by none other than Trent Richardson. Big surprise there.
Where? Where is he? How's it going?
Not too bad. This holiday season's making getting to these videos in a timely manner much more difficult than usual. So we apologize for y'all. Don't be
Yeah.
surprised if that continues for at least the remainder of this month or close to, just with everything going on.
Yeah.
We'll get them to you, but maybe not Mondays.
Man, it's been wild and hectic for me at work. Things are popping off, as you know. I'm in the sales game, and man, things are going haywire right now. So I'm just like barely trudging along. My little boy's turning 1 on Friday. And so we've been having, like, his birthday month apparently, because kids can't just have a birthday anymore. It's got to be like a birth month. And we got Christmas coming up with all, different families. We both come from divorced families. So, of course, we got 48 Christmases to attend, one basically every weekend. And then we got baby showers. And it's just been nuts, man. I mean, there's just no time for anything right now. And, you know, hopefully, hopefully magic holds its horses for us, which, it kind of seems like it has a little bit. We're finally
Yeah.
getting a little bit of a reprieve from the onslaught of just product inundation from this year. And I think I'm like kind of just like ready to take a breath and be like, okay, all
Yeah.
right, let's just chill until February when Kaldheim drops. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've just worn out from this year in Magic for sure.
Yeah. That's been so much. Yeah, I finished up teaching my class. So they just had their finals over the weekend. So got that done. So that's good. I can breathe a little
So
bit of sigh of relief there.
did everybody fail?
No, no. Um, I won't comment other than no, everyone did not fail. Um, but yeah, it's been tough because a lot of students taking stuff online. And this class had an in-person part for the second half of the semester. First half was all online, but I'm pretty sure our viewers didn't come on here to find out about uh, baby showers and teaching classes. So let's talk about what we are here to talk about, which is magic cards and investments.
Yeah, yeah. So so we've got a few here that are pretty interesting. But first off, I think we should mention one we spec'd on what, a month or so ago, maybe a little
October,
more
I
than that,
believe. I think it was in
a couple
October.
months ago. Dowsing Dagger. So back in October, mid-October maybe, we recommended picking up this little gem. And when we did, the mid price at TCG was around $2.30. Near mint bulk around a buck 75. Now we got a mid price of $3.18, boys and girls. So we've had a nice little increase there. And
Yeah,
what
that
is that? Probably
Ixalan
about
block,
a
those flip
15,
cards.
20%. Yeah.
Yeah, those Ixalan flip cards, just like all of them, some more than others, are just really good investments. Like other ones as well that we've talked about before, like Store in the Vault, that's seen gains as well.
Hmm.
It's more than doubled from where it was when we talked about that. And it's just, these cards, don't sleep on them. There's so much
Yeah.
in that block that was actually really good for EDH. And it doesn't have to have
Yeah.
Dinosaur in the title to get played.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, any of these cards that have, backs on them, they're just so hard to reprint. I mean, they just don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, historically, they just don't do it. So, anytime you see a card that's viable in EDH, even in the slightest bits, even like 6,000 decks being played in, I think you can kind of hedge a little bit with those double faced cards.
Now with these
You can,
modal DFCs as well, I mean, looking at a lot of
yeah,
those are seriously, people who've been sleeping on those are going to regret it later.
yeah. Well, and see, now I read an interesting article, and I don't think anybody's been sleeping on them because they're being played. Fairly heavily, especially in like constructed formats, standard, modern, legacy, I
Oops,
mean,
all spells.
everywhere. Yeah, they've been being played pretty heavily. So I think the price is being held down right now because there is no paper magic. Um, so that's been the biggest factor, I think, because of that. But over time, people are going to continuously add these to commander decks. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and we're going to see the prices just continuously climb. And once we're able to play paper magic again, you bet your sweet bippy, these boys, all of them, are going to go
Oh yeah.
way up.
And I mean,
So
and even
people,
Balaget has still been gaining. It's at about a buck 90 now in market.
yeah, but
Um,
it's still, in my opinion, too low. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
$1.90 is too low for that,
For a card
that
that's
card.
basically a staple in any deck running green in EDH.
Yeah. I mean, just look at some Veil of Summer. I mean, that thing it's
Mhm.
up to like $10 now.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I've got my like 12 copies of it. But
yeah. I've just got a handful of them,
yeah,
but I mean that card was expensive out the gate.
sure, sure. It also had the benefit of having paper magic around for a while. So,
Yeah,
um, we're gonna see what's gonna happen with all this COVID stuff and when paper magic becomes cool again. But yeah, MDFCs, anything with a back on it, buy them
yeah,
up.
yeah. So, we'd mentioned Dowsing Dagger and the Ixalan block. So, also from that, from Rivals of Ixalan, we did mention dinosaurs, but another popular tribe just got revisited in Commander Legends. That, of course, is pirates. So that got me thinking, what are some good pirates that might want to be seeing a bit more play right now?
Mm-hmm.
And that brought me to Direfleet Daredevil. So Direfleet Daredevil, he's red and a colorless for a 2/1 human pirate with first strike. And when he enters the battlefield, you exile target instant or sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard. You may cast that card this turn, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast that spell. If that card would be put into a graveyard this turn, exile it instead. Even if you're not in a pirate theme, this is a strong red card. It lets
Mm-hmm.
you, play out their Psych Rift. It lets you play out the Demonic Tutor, the Vamp Tutor, their Ramp card, whatever have you. Uh, and because he's so cheap, you're usually going to have the mana for it.
Yeah.
I think this card's been slept on a little bit. I know I personally slept on it. I have a few of these that I randomly just threw into a pirate themed 60 card deck I just had sitting around and still have sitting around. This is
Mm-hmm.
actually a solid red creature for
Yeah.
ADH. Now currently
Yeah.
it's seeing play in about 4,000 decks, so not too many. TCG market price is 284 with a mid of 231. Card Kingdom has one in stock for 399. Star City Games has two in stock for 299, and Channel Fireball fully in stock for $4. And you can get near mint bulk on TCG for as low as $1.61.
Mm.
Now,
Yeah.
in the past month alone, this card, since basically Commander Legends, has jumped 60 cents. Obviously it's a pirate. People are looking at pirates. They're picking pirates up for the pirate themed decks and the like. Um, but again, I think outside of pirate tribal, I think this guy's still a viable EDH card.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think at this point, it's worth picking up. And what was interesting is there's a relatively low stock of this card across vendors.
Right.
Um, Online vendors that obviously the aforementioned, which was kind of surprising actually. This is something I thought there'd be plenty of out there, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that is pretty shocking. I certainly wasn't expecting Card Kingdom and Star City Games to be so low on their stock, but you know, um, I've been pretty hot on this card since it came out. It's like a red reverse snapcaster kind of
yeah,
a little bit. I
yeah,
mean, it's a very, very sweet ability. Something that red doesn't have a whole lot of. And yeah, like you said, I mean, it's not just good in pirates, man. This is a I'd venture to say you should probably play this in any red deck. I mean, it's pretty close.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's oftentimes going to net you at worst a ramp spell like a Cultivator or Kadamas Reach, and
yeah.
on other times it's going to give you a Vamp Tutor or Demonic Tutor.
Hmm.
Um, and if you can flicker this to abuse it, it can get really gross.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. ETB, trigger playing other people's cards out of their graveyard.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Mm-hmm.
Sign me up.
Speaking of
So,
signing up for stuff, this is a
yeah.
reserve list card here. Why don't you tell us about? But first, we got to call in the reserves.
Yeah, so Winding Canyons out of Weatherlight. It's only played in about 2,500 decks, mostly probably because it's just, it's an older card. It's got a little bit of a premium because it's so old. So it's just a land. It taps for colorless mana, or it's got the ability to pay two and tap it, and until end of turn, you may play creature cards whenever you could play instants, which is a sweet ability that's on a lot of, green creatures already. So go great in any kind of green flash deck,
Well, the nice thing about this is it
doubles.
doesn't have to go in a flash deck because it's
Yeah.
colorless. It can go in any deck, and now it gives your creatures flash. Like the
Hmm.
idea of before my turn, I'm going to flash in a flashback Marauder. Everybody sack something.
Yeah.
Or, oh no, they're going off. I better flash in my Rex Sage and stop it.
Hmm.
Um, but most importantly, as everyone knows from things like Leyline of Anticipation and Badolkin Ori, is the ability to leave your mana up for interaction through all your opponent's turns and then go, okay, I can breathe a sigh of relief. Now I'm going to cast my creature spells. Or to
Yeah.
hold Threat of Activation up there, like, well, I could swing at them, except they've got 8 mana up. They could flash in a 5-drop. Do I want to
Yeah.
risk that?
Yeah. That's
So,
sick. Sick tech.
yeah,
But
it's very
yeah.
solid card. Any type of control deck that's running creatures definitely would want to run this.
Yeah. So let's get to the juice. We got TCG market price is 31.55, mid not too far off at $31.08. You can pick them up light play bulk. Pretty hard to find near mint copies of this guy, any cheaper than market price, but light play bulk starting at about $22.96, and you can get single near mint copies for around $30. Um, Card Kingdom only has one in stock for $25.99, which is definitely the buy. Star City Games, $29.99, zero in stock. Channel Fireball, $26, zero in stock. So it has seen recent price spikes going for as high as $45 just about a month ago when we saw that like 2017 buyout reserved list 2.0.
Return, yeah.
Yeah. The target, so it did have another attempt in 2018, but, didn't quite get
Not as
there.
high. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so following the trend of this card over the past 2 years, it's seen about a 200% increase in value. And after the last spike about a month ago, it dropped back down to around $28 and is now up to 31.55. So um, it's been kind of all over the place. And of
Well,
off,
what I've noted is it's had like every time there's a buyout frenzy, and this happens with reserve list cards so much, you'll see
Mhm.
this stair step where it'll jump up, and then it'll start to come back down for a bit, and then it'll find that plateau, and then it'll hit the next spike. It'll go up, but what happens is the next time it hits that step, it never comes down as low as where it was the previous time. So that's
Mhm.
why when I looked at this card, and basically, if you take those steps out and see just where it's falling in the course of point A to point B, A being 2 years ago, B being where we are now, we see we have this steady gradient increase, which is a 200% increase on this card over 2 years.
Yeah.
Uh, this is such a strong, very playable card in EDH. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it's a limited supply that is kind of depressing the numbers for number of decks that it's played in.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think it's also not just limited supply, but also you've got to remember too, we're not having the Magic Fests and the gathering like we normally see. And a lot of, especially reserve list and older cards are being bought and sold at these events to get cash in hand right away. Not a lot of people buy or sell their copies of these cards on the buy list.
no, no.
They'll go to a Magic Fest or somewhere like that in person and make a deal so they can have cash in hand right then and there. And the buyers also like to do it that way because they get to see the card up front and they don't have to jump through as many hoops, and the seller comes to them directly.
But just reserve
So
list in general, the buy list reserve list is a terrible idea.
yeah,
It's a
exactly.
terrible idea.
So we're seeing an inflation on a lot of reserve list cards, just not because there's a limited quantity available in the market, but it's because the market isn't moving them as rapidly as they typically are. They're not flowing like they typically are.
Well, I will say I looked up across and counted up between all of TCG, Star City Games, Card Kingdom, and Channel Fireball, and there were just over 100 copies available.
Hmm.
In near mint to and light played. I don't count heavily played, damaged, moderately played.
Sure.
Um, and unless you're dying to play with this card, I wouldn't buy in those conditions. It's reserve list, buy light play, preferably near mint.
Hmm. For
Um,
sure.
I do want to point one thing out about this card, though. A similar card, Alchemist Refuge, um,
Mm.
is played in 14,000 decks,
Right.
to give you a comparison, but it's restricted to Simic colors. However, it does let you cast anything at instant speed, not just creatures, for
Sure.
essentially the same cost. But you're limited to Simic because Simic really needed the help, right? Um, and then the other alternative, which isn't uncommon and is played in nearly 15,000 decks, is Emergence Zone, which is one less to activate, I believe, but you have to sacrifice the land. So it's a one
Hmm.
shot, which surprisingly is actually really good as well.
Sure.
I run Alchemist Refuge in multiple decks, but having that on recurring on that Winding Canyons, even if it's just creatures, is most of the time all you really need, because you can keep your mana up for your interaction, and then okay, I didn't need it, throw a creature in before my turn.
Right.
Uh, if you're looking to pick this up, if you're looking to pick it up to play, I suggest getting like play copies, and you might even pick up multiples because they'll still continue accrue value. But if you're looking for collection purposes, grab the near mint. And honestly, since it's reserve list, even if you're specking, if you can find good deals here or there on the near mint, I'd pick up some of those, because being reserve list down the road, way down the road, what it's going to come down to is what it grades as.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
keep that in mind with this.
Hmm. So we got another one here, and I think you were particularly excited about this one. So
Mm.
I'll let you go on. And there's actually a couple we can probably.
Yeah, we'll kind of tandem them here more or less.
Yeah.
So I actually was including this on the cards that have jumped in the last like 6 months or whatever, uh, because I thought I had put it on the show. It's a card I spec'd on personally, and I guess I just forgot to put it on the list that week. But the card I'm talking about in particular is Bantu's Monument. It's a 3-cost
Mhm.
artifact, legendary artifact. Black creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And whenever you cast a creature spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So the second ability is kind of like icing on the cake, because really, for the most part, it's that first ability you're worried about, just
Yeah.
reducing the cost of black creature spells. We look at a card like Jet Medallion, which does it for all black spells, mind you, and costs
Hmm.
1 less to play. That card's like $22 to $25. Uh,
Yeah.
I I picked these up. Oh goodness, what was it? July. Back in July, it was when Tiny Bones was spoiled.
Right.
And I was like, people are pushing Mono Black. Mono Black's going to want something as like cost reducers, like Jet Medallion. Jet Medallion was up there. I was like, but Bantu's Monument's still pretty low. So I picked him up for about $1.75 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And their mid at the time was $2.80. So, got a decent deal on them. Well, right now the market price on them is $3.69 with a mid of $3.55. Card Kingdom has them in stock for $4.49. Star City Games has 2 in stock for $2.99. And Channel Fireball is in stock for $4.50. And you can get near mint bulk for as low as $3.10 on TCG, and light played bulk for as low as $2. In 5 months' time, this card's jumped almost $1.
Yeah.
I honestly was expecting Medallions to see a reprint in Commander Legends.
I was too.
When they didn't, I think that's part of the reason this card saw even more of a jump, because the cheaper, the more expensive alternative, the better alternative, but the more expensive one didn't see a reprint. So it was, okay, let's run to Bantu's Monument. It's already seen play in over 11,000 decks in EDH.
Mm-hmm.
And this card is jumping once again. I really feel this. I really feel most of the monuments are a strong pickup, but we're only going to talk about 2 today because they're the best 2 in my opinion.
Sure.
Bantu's Monument being the best. Tell us about the second one here.
Yeah, so the other one's Oketra's Monument, which is the white cost reducer in the series, but played nearly 10,000 decks. It is a 3-costed legendary artifact, and white creature spells cost 1 less to cast. Second ability is whenever you cast in the creature spell, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance.
Pretty strong, actually.
And, if you remember, this was a big time back in Amonkhet Standard, where we had all the glory-bound initiates and just kind of crazy mono-white things going on. So for a time, Oketra's Monument was the big boy on the block until Standard rotated and that deck became less popular and less viable. So but even so, in Commander, if you're running kind of a white creature deck, I mean, it's very, very good. And you still get plenty of value on, getting your 1/1 Vigilant Warrior, which has many implications.
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing, like both of these are actually normally I'd say just run these in a monocolor. However, these 2 in tandem in an Aristocrats deck is really strong. Sure. Bantu's Monument is already draining your opponents. Oketra is giving you fodder to sack. They tandem really well.
Yeah, and I mean, especially since most of your aristocrat creatures are going to be 1 in X color, makes them all just X color. It's pretty sweet. So, I don't know. These cards are very, very good. I think they're still going to keep climbing up.
The only one I'm not a big fan of is the blue one, for multiple reasons. Blue doesn't like creatures as much, and the ability is, it's not really good. It's a freeze. It's a Frostlink's effect. Yeah, actually, it's not even that. It doesn't tap them. It just takes an already tapped creature and says it doesn't untap during the next step. It's not good. Now the red one is incredibly cheap right now, and it's actually pretty good because it lets you rummage.
Yeah, and the green one's not bad. The only problem I see with the green one is it's just too hard to find slots in your green deck. I mean, there's
so much good green stuff, and you have ramp. You ramp so well in green anyway.
Yeah, it's the most popular color in Commander for a reason, and that's because there's just way too many good green cards you could be running probably over the green Monument.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the pricing on the white guy. TCG Market, $1.65. Mid is $1.63. Card Kingdom, $1.49. Star City Games, 99 cents. Channel Fireball, $1.50. You can pick them up near mint bulk for around 97 cents and light play bulk around 75 cents. I mean, it's already jumped in just 5 months, 60 cents. So that's a double up basically.
Yeah, very nearly.
I mean, so now is definitely the time to pick them up for sure. Um, I, I I don't know how much higher the white one can go from here.
Not without white getting better in EDH.
White would have to get tremendously better in EDH, but hey, we're getting like 2 or 3 good white cards a year.
So like in 10 years, it'll be as good as red.
Yeah, in 10 years, this will be nearly as good as red. Yes. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on the white one. The black one for sure, though,
yeah,
is a solid pickup for sure. Yeah. White one, more to be seen. More to be seen. So still a good pickup, even if you just want to pick it up for some decks. It's solid card. So here we've got.
I just realized something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this works. It just literally hit me. White Mane Lion in something like Tulane, for example. If you only have one dork that can tap for any mana, you get the trigger with an Intruder Alarm, for example. You get the trigger of another creature coming in, which gives you another trigger of Intruder Alarm, and you could tap in between with the mana. So you can basically double your mana for each cast. I mean, it's Rube Goldberg kind of esque, but it's just, I was like, there are ways actually to combo with a Catcher's Monument with something like Intruder Alarm and White Mane Lion. It wouldn't even have to be in Tulane. That's the one that came to mind. You could literally do it in a white blue. Anyway,
that'd be pretty cool. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. No one other than Intruder Alarm hitting the board, no one would see that coming. But when they saw Intruder Alarm, they certainly would.
Well, yeah, sure. I imagine so. So, last couple cards here. I'm gonna save my favorite for last, and
that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, I'll talk about this next one here. It's another one that's near and dear to my heart, though, so I'm happy about that. And that is Grave Titan. It is 2 black and 4 colorless for a 6/6 giant with Death Touch. And whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, you create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. And he's played currently in nearly 14,000 decks. He's only seen printings in M11, M12, Commander 14, and in Mystery Boosters, he was saw a reprint there as well.
Yeah.
Now the market TCG market price on him is $7.98 with a mid of $8.31. Now, Card Kingdom has him at $11.99. Channel Fireball has him at $12. And Star City Games, pay attention here, has him at $7.99. I know where I'm going this Christmas.
Yeah.
So with recent commanders like Arami of the Dead Tide and Michonne from the Walking Dead Secret Lair gaining popularity as of late, this Grave Daddy, as you put it here, has seen some increase in popularity as well. He's currently at his all-time low, and I'll be honest, when I saw this, you list the market in the mid on that, I was like, what? I paid so much more for that like a while ago for mine, because I was paying $10 to $12 a pop for my copies. I've got 5 or 6 copies now, but I paid for them. So that is definitely a low that it's at right now. I'm actually shocked it's currently that low, and that is a solid pickup at that price, considering I don't know if you looked at the price. Did it drop from Mystery Boosters?
So it's been kind of on like this like up and down, but yeah, it did drop some for Mystery Boosters, but it's kind of been on a steady decline over a period. But I think its highest point most recently was right after War of the Spark and right before Throne of Eldraine. So I'm not really sure the function of that. Why? I couldn't figure it out.
He's a go-to black. He's a staple, in my opinion. Every bit as much as Sun Titan, and sometimes more so. Oh, Sun Titan they reprint the heck out of to where he'll never have value really. But Grave
Right.
Titan they've not done that to.
Sure. Sure, yeah. So I mean, as you know, Arami of the Dead Tide's the one where you get to you know, what's it called? Encore. You get
Encore.
to encore creatures. So I mean,
That's
Grave Titan's pretty
12.
sick.
Three. That's 12 zombies from if you
Yeah.
have three opponents because you get two for each coming into play, and then two more when they swing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's a bunch of zombies.
That
And
is. I don't have that in my Arami. I need to put that in my Arami. That's a good idea. I need
yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, so and then Michonne, is just a cool zombie creature, but hey, Grave Titan goes well in those decks all day
Zombies
long.
are. I've never not seen zombies popular. Not since Onslaught block. Once Onslaught came out, zombies became a popular thing, and that's never really gone away. They
Yeah.
not necessarily have a home in standard all the time, but they're still a much loved tribe. You
Oh,
know.
very much, very much. So you can actually get some bulk copies for around $8.31, but the lowest listed on TCG is $7.75. You only pick up one at a time at that price, and then it starts going up from there. So Star City Games, they've
There's
got a
your
few.
go-to.
$7.99. Yeah.
We got
So
one
anyway,
more for you here, right?
we got one more for you here, and this one is I don't know. This is just a really sweet card, and I know the implications is just recent value out of what's Sakashima,
Well, I
but
mean, I run the heck out of this. Like I play my Momir
yeah,
big.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, it's a sweet
it's
card,
good in a lot of decks.
but what I was most interested about is just how unavailable it is everywhere. So we'll get to it. Rite of Replication. It's a 2 and 2 blue sorcery with a kicker cost of 5 colorless mana, and its ability is put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature. Target creature. Any target creature. If it was kicked, put 5 of those tokens onto the battlefield instead. Wowzers. So
Yeah,
so we've seen it gain some huge popularity here with Sakashima, who, legend rule doesn't
hmm
apply. And you're trying to run as many copy effects in that deck already. So this slots in super, super nicely. And for 9 mana, you get 6 copies of like the sweetest legend on the battlefield in Commander.
yeah,
That's some game ending tech right there. Um, Anyhow, printed in Zendikar, Commander 14 and Commander 15 only. It's played in about 14,000 decks overall, so very viable for
oh
spec.
yeah.
Um, TCG Market, you can pick them up for $5.64, mid 659. Card Kingdom. Now here's where it gets interesting. Card Kingdom only has one in stock at 10.99. Channel Fireball, they got 8, but $11. Star City Games, hey, they've got them for 5.99, sweet price. But guess what? They're out of stock.
Totally out of stock.
So now here's even more interesting. When you check to see how many bulk copies there are on TCG Player, there's only 4 listings of bulk copies on TCG. The lowest of which is $8.38 after shipping. Um, that particular seller has 8 copies. There's one other seller that has them for about 10.99 a piece. They've got 10, 12 copies. And then the other ones are like 14, $16, and they've got 4 and 4. So the lowest of the low price you can grab this boy at right now is $6.91 near mint on TCG, and that's just a single copy of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the next lowest price is almost $8. So we have seen ever since it's come out, it's a very, very slow trend upward, and we love seeing slow trends upward over
Mm-hmm.
over its lifetime. Um, and of course, now that we've got Sakashima just grinding out
He's so
Oh,
gross.
he's on
He's
EDH
got
Rec right now.
partner.
Yeah. He is I mean, there are partner decks with Sakashima for every single partner commander in existence.
He's so
Um,
good.
it's so good. It's just too good.
Mm,
So, are we going to see a slow of this particular card rights of replication? Absolutely not. Not
yeah.
anytime soon. Um, but yeah, I mean, what a sweet pickup that is.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's glad you
so
have
if
this
you
one on here.
Yeah. So if you could find some inexpensive copies of this, Channel Fireball guys, we know they've got the inside track. They won't admit it, but they
Mm-hmm.
do. So that's a little insight onto how I look at specs, and I look at Channel Fireball. I know Nathan likes to look at Card Kingdom,
Well,
which
I look
a
at them all,
lot.
but Channel Fireball is the one I noticed. They tend to, when they have that highly inflated over everybody else price. That's when I'm like, okay, something's up. And I do tend to find Star City Games tends to have often the lowest price because they're a little behind the curve on catching up when there's those spikes. So real quick, you can scoop them up from Star City Games oftentimes for lower than the competitors.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So yeah, so that's all we've got for this week. And yeah, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We enjoyed doing it for you.
If you did like it,
Don't
be sure to like. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. And you can share it with your mommies, your daddies, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your nephews, your nieces, your grampy, your grumpy, your nene,
What
your
are they,
lily.
dwarves now? Dwarves will be coming in Kaldheim, so.
Well, that's my dad's name now for my son is Grumpy, apparently. So I had to
I
throw that
bet
one
you
in
wish
there.
it was Sleepy, right?
Yeah, I wish my name was Sleepy because I need to be doing some of that. Um, but yeah, guys, if hopefully you guys have some sweet holiday plans, not too not too socially together,
Keep
but maybe socially distant a bit. Stay safe out there and enjoy your holiday beverages and your holiday eateries and all the things that come with it. And
and a
yeah,
blessing for you all for Christmas and ever on. May your card draw be plentiful and your mana never screwed.
keep commanding the market, guys. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Peace, love, and joy to all.